Hello and welcome back to Drawing with Mrs. Mills. Today we are going to look at putting together the skills that we have learned in one-point perspective to actually make an image or a drawing. And we're going to start with one that's classic, and that's the street scene. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and put in your horizon line. Now, where do you put it? Well, for this, it kind of depends on how much space you want in the front. If you put it down low, you'll have less space up front for your buildings and things. So I'm going to move it right back. Not exactly halfway, because that's kind of boring. I'm going to go a little bit above halfway. And I'm going to mark my vanishing point. Do you have to put it right in the middle? No, you can put it wherever you want. It'll just, change the angle of your scene. Let's put it, we're going to go near the middle. Let's go right in the middle, actually. All right, so for your scene, the first thing you want to do is start, let's put a road in. So what I'm going to do is mark my road down here and then take it back to the vanishing point. So now we've got our road going off into the distance. But we know that if we go out and look at the road, it's not just, a road and then a sidewalk. There's a curb. So I want to bring up the curb, and I'm going to measure it. I'm going to bring it up 1/2 inch on each side. And take that back to the vanishing point. All right, so now you can see we've got the curb, and then that curb would actually come over. So you could continue this. If your sidewalk was going to keep going, you could just continue this beyond here like this. Oops, sorry. So now your curb continues all the way. I should have done that the first time. All right, so now you've got sort of the curb coming up, your road, you need your sidewalk. So let's measure out a distance for the sidewalk. I'm gonna go 1.5 inches on each side. And take it back to the vanishing point. Right now we're doing everything kind of symmetrical, and it is a little bit boring, but you can mix this up. I'm going to show you some ways to make this your own. All right, so now you can see this is looking a lot more dynamic because you've got your road, it comes up and over to your sidewalk, and now you can start to put in some buildings. So I don't want my building right up next to the sidewalk. So what I'm going to do is just move over a little bit and put in a line for the beginning of my building. And then I'm going to bring it back in perspective and keep these lines kind of light because you don't want it to go all the way back unless your building goes on for infinity, which would be pretty long. We're really just drawing different rectangles. All right, so I'm gonna make this building, and I'm gonna use the width of my ruler to make my building end right here. Boop. All right, so there's one building, but I want to finish off the edge, so we're kind of seeing the corner, and this side is just going to be straight because this plane of the building, oh, you can still see that, that plane of the building is facing us. This is like the corner of the building, and then it moves away in perspective. All right, so this box here becomes my first building. So because of that, I can erase those lines, because they're not going to be part of that building. And let's put another building. We could make it right next door, or we could move it back. It could jut out further. It could go back further. You have some options here. I'm going to make my next building start a little further back. So I'm going to drop in a straight line here. And I'm going to have this building come up. Let's make it a little taller than that one. All right, so then let's have this building move back in perspective too by taking these points to the vanishing point. Let's go this way. And you see, by not having our buildings all lined up, it makes a more interesting drawing. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this building continue so it sort of falls behind the one in front. And let's decide where it's going to end. Okay, using this method, I'm going to go ahead and add in some more buildings, and then we'll talk about adding details to make everything more interesting. Here we go. Started putting in an awning, and I put in some stairs. So whatever shape, like say you're making a triangle, you can take that right into perspective like you did with a square. You're just going to draw it on the flat area here and then bring those points into perspective. And then you can go ahead and add in all the decoration and whatever else you like. So I think this is a nice start of my basic city, and I'm going to add more details in and make it more like a real drawing, which is kind of the fun part for me now that I've got this structure put in. And you can see some ways to be creative and take something that's sort of a boring start and turn it into something interesting. Thank you so much for drawing with Mrs. Mills, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.